This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, Creed 3.
Geek boner.
Plus, Grogu is back as we break down the season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian. They're rebooting Hellboy again. Our first look at Seth Rogen's animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, The Last of Us, and more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, March 6th, 2023.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh, yeah.
Hey, what is happening? How's it going? Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose.
Jock and Nerd.
My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
And joining us in this corner, coming in at a combined weight of 1 pound, 4 ounces, standing a towering 25 inches, fighting from the dumpster behind the Jimmy Johns. It's the Italian felty stallion, Radiant Rugberto Bambino.
Yeah, that's me. Otherwise known as Bukkake Balboa.
There it is. Bukkake Balboa joining us.
Yeah.
Hey, Imran, you got so excited to say that you zoomed past half of our intro. Because I said, my name's Anthony, and then you didn't know he's a jock, he's a nerd. You just went right into it, so I was thrown off.
You know what?
You
Good.
blew
You
it.
didn't do what I said.
I was also thrown off.
He's the jock, I'm the nerd, whatever. You know, I couldn't wait to do the boxer intro.
Thank you for pointing
Rockboy.
that out, Anthony, because that was going to bother me for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I was like, what? This doesn't seem right at all. What just happened here? Did he hear what I even said?
I heard you. Train wreck.
He was so excited to do his Jimmy Buffer.
I had to do it before I forgot what the fuck I was coming up with. So, yes, my name is Imran. I'm the nerd. That's Anthony. He's the jock, and he is the rug boy. There.
Hey, thank you.
Clear. Yeah. Look, I'll keep you on your toes sometimes, you guys. You got to bounce
You
around,
do.
back and zigzag, back and forth, jab, punch, uppercut.
Can't just be a stationary target.
That's right. No, you got to move around. Make yourself a small target. Turn sideways. All that shit I learned from Rocky movies. But we will talk about Rocky later. We got 2 reviews of some fun things. Let's get it started.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
He's the jock. Oh, wait, we already did that part. Never mind. We are going to review the season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian. Mando is back on Disney Plus. Here are your spoiler alerts. Let's do it like this.
Come on, baby. Do the magic hand thing.
Let's spoil some shit, Batman.
I'm mixing corporate IP there. I hope that's okay.
Sure.
We are up to, this is season 3, episode 1, also known as chapter 17. Episode titled The Prostate. Wait, that's not right. It's The Apostate.
Oh, I thought those was the 2 fingers before.
The material writes
It
itself.
does
right
write
now.
it does write itself. Last time we met up with, so just to catch everyone up, season 2 of The Mandalorian ended in December of 2020. Then we got a Book of Boba Fett, which we didn't realize was like season 2.5 of The Mandalorian. That ended February 2022. So Anthony, we'll go over the plot because it's real short, 30-minute episode. How about you catch us up? Where are we?
Oh, geez.
At this point with Mando and Grogu? What the fuck has been going on?
Oh, man, you're asking me to catch
Yes.
I usually can do this, but this is the thing the franchise I've always been least interested in that we talk about. So let me think. Well, at the end of Book of Boba Fett, Grogu had a choice between being a Jedi with Luke and training with Luke or going on adventures with Mando.
Yeah.
And if he chose one or the other, he couldn't basically do the other thing anymore. And he chose to go back with Mando. So now he's back with Mando, and I guess I'll jump in the plot. Mando is looking to get some redemption because he took his mask off, and he's looking to bathe in the beautiful waters of Lake Minnetonka. I mean, he's looking to bathe in the waters of Mandalore. Is
Yes.
that what it is?
In the mines of Mandalore or something.
The mines of Mandalore, and he's looking to figure out if who can help him, if Mandalore's still a thing, if it's cursed, and he's got pirates after him. That's about it. That's all he got.
Yeah, and also timeline-wise, the last thing they gave us was Andor, that takes place before A New Hope and Rogue One, between episode 2 and 3. This show takes place after Return of the Jedi, many years after, like on the way to the First Order in the new sequel trilogy. So we got to shift our whole time frame and reorientate the audience because, a lot of crazy shit happened, and I think people would have been confused had they not watched Book of Boba Fett. They'd be like, what happened? What the fuck? The last thing I remember is a tearful goodbye. And now everything's happy, hunky-dory. So, again, Anthony, I'm going to go to you. Overall, we'll dig into the plot some more, but what did you think of this return of Mando?
I thought it was all right. I didn't hate it, so it's always good when I don't hate something that's Star Wars. Good. It's obviously not going to be in the same tone as Andor, so we just need to get over that. But we knew what this tone was, and it's sticking to it. I would say I thought the opening CGI with the dinosaur crocodile thing looked pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
I thought that they kind of established what this is. Like, he's looking for redemption, and he's going to all different sects of Mandalorians and getting different viewpoints on it and different ideas for help. I forgot even how it ended, though. That's the thing. How did it end?
This episode?
Yeah.
Abruptly,
it does. Remember, they visit. He visits Bo-Katan.
Yeah. And then when he leaves, that's it?
Yeah. And then they just leave to go find the thing.
I thought it was all right, but I'm going to defer as usual with Star Wars. Unless I feel real strongly about it, I'll defer to you guys.
Ruggs, did you enjoy the return to your, what do we call this? Orthodox Star Wars, classic Star Wars? They gave us many different worlds, lots of Mandalorians, lots of Easter egg alien species.
Very Slavic Star Wars. Yeah.
Very Slavic Star Wars. You got to see a lot of fun things. Did you enjoy this return here?
It was kind of mid.
Oh, it was mid.
Oh, boy.
Whoa, look at this guy using
yeah. Using the kitty terms. All you tic-tackers out there, whatever you say. Yeah, whatever you're doing. You're flossing, you're whatever you're doing, whatever you're doing.
Dental hygiene is important. Yes.
Sure. Everyone do that. I felt like, I kind of think that this plot is weak from the get-go. I don't like this whole idea that they have to wear their helmets on all the time. Like, what is that? Like, that's ridiculous.
Somebody needs to change that policy, right?
That just doesn't seem like how are you going to eat?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Who cares if you take your helmet off? Like, what?
So if you're in private, I guess it's okay.
Yes.
I don't know. Didn't we establish that in the first few episodes you could do that?
Yeah, he would take it off to eat if no one's around, so nobody can see
so
your face.
It's just this whole like hard line of not taking off your helmet. I thought that was weird. But it's interesting to see that Bo-Katan has now given up on trying to galvanize the remaining Mandos, and that she's just like, well, you got the sword. You have the dark saber. You do it. Mm-hmm. It was kind of strange that Bo-Katan just sitting there on her throne in an empty castle.
Lounging out with her leg up. I kind of like that pose.
She just was she just sitting there all day?
Yeah, what's she doing? Was she waiting?
Yeah, what is she looking at? Is there like a TV with like Housewives of Naboo on there or something?
There's one droid and that's it. Like,
I'm glad I found that odd too. I was like, what? There's nothing going on in that room. Why would you sit there?
How long has she been sitting there?
How did you know he was coming to sit there?
No,
you know where she was?
That's what she just does that. It's not silly like that you're doing that when no one's there.
But somebody pointed out she was sitting like Darth Maul in the Rebels, how he sat on the throne when he got the throne of Mandalore or something. I don't know if that's what they were doing.
Oh, I guess. Okay, that might be true. I didn't remember that, but the fact that he went to go get the droid that was detonated in like in a million pieces. Like, why do you want? Like, I wasn't really understanding.
IG-11, voiced by Taika Waititi.
So I kind of am like a little bit. No, I'm not down on it. I'm just like dubious, like a little bit like, what are you doing? But I'm sure it'll all come together. But I feel like the important thing that we learned is that Bo-Katan's no longer interested in leading the Mandalorians. The Mandalorians have fucked off, and they're not like galvanized at all. They're just, I guess they're all on their own doing shit. And Mando's kind of on his own. It's an interesting way to begin. A lot of shit happened, though.
It was very short, but yes, a lot of things happened. And it's kind of like almost like an opening prologue chapter setting up the mission objective and the quests. And he's just going to be going from one thing, like he's got to get this thing to get the droid to go to Mandalore. But that's the show, right? And that's the fun part.
Yeah, he does a lot of like, little side missions.
Yeah, every episode's going to be like a little side mission. Very short episode, but they did pack. I enjoyed it overall. It was fun, like getting reintroduced and reorienting yourself to this. I felt it was necessary.
Yeah, I feel like if you didn't watch Book of Boba Fett or remember what happened, you're going to be a little bit confused.
You know what was odd, though? You know how they did the opening recap of like previously on, like, they didn't even mention the whole fucking thing from Book of Boba Fett or him, Grogu coming back or any of that. They just left all that out. It was weird. I was like, wouldn't you put that? Why didn't? What's
and Moff Gideon's still around.
Yes. So okay. So here's what I like. The sect of Mandalorian that he is that doesn't remove their helmets. It's like it's all very like religious offshoots, right? Like they're the death child of the Watch, I think is what they're called.
Right.
Yeah.
So and there was only 2 of them the last time we saw them. And this episode opens and they're doing a ceremony to like a baptism, and there's like a shitload of them. I don't know where they got all these people.
They got a lot of Beskar, I guess.
A lot of Beskar molding the thing. That kid, it's interesting because I thought it was a flashback in the beginning, right? They kind of make you think, is this Din Djarin getting his Mando? That kid is Jimmy Kimmel's nephew, Wesley Kimmel, playing that kid. Wesley. So that's great, but you would think they would hold this ceremony maybe a little further away from the shore, because maybe they were aware of giant alligator monsters in the water. Like, why are you holding it there? But I love that that kaiju fight was great. I love when he does the spinny move like an alligator, fucking throw them off.
Yeah, I thought it was that was fun. It was a fun action scene. It was well done. A good action scene does not make a great show, but it was very good. Yeah.
Let me add, I did really like, if we're talking about things we like, I was, as cheesy as it might be, I was laughing when they're fixing the droid with those little people.
Yes.
And then Grogu's like trying to like hug them, and they're all like, they're saying the weird stuff. Like, and I like that Carl Weathers' character is translating for them, even though everyone could understand exactly what they're saying.
That's the Anzellans. They're droid smiths. Babu Frick was in Rise of Skywalker.
Gotcha.
And they were hilarious. And they're like, no.
It looked like they used real puppets, too. On there.
Yeah. I didn't know if Grogu wanted to hug him or eat him, but it was adorable.
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah. He was like, no, it's broke. Your droid broke. We're going to fix. Okay, no problem. We fix. We bring it, we make a fix.
Oh, it ends because he has to go find the console or the dash, whatever the fuck you call it.
So when Mando visits the armorer, he's like, I found this rock. There's Mandalorian writing. If I can go to Mandalore and prove that it's breathable and bathe in the mines, I'm redeemed. She's like, this is the way. But to do that, he needs IG-11. I love that whole scene.
The only droid he trusts.
Yes, the only droid he trusts. We know he doesn't like droids, but he's changed because of IG-11 sacrifice. I love that there's a statue for him. And then I love when he turns back on, he switches back to his primary motives, and you get a total like Terminator style scene where he's just trying to kill them. So to get IG fixed, he's got to get a new memory circuit, which are hard to find.
There it is.
So now the mission, the quest is go find this memory circuit from
which seems like somewhere. A stupid mission.
Yeah. It does seem like a stupid mission. I have 2 things. This is classic Mando, right? Because it's always like he's got to go do this to get this to have this happen, right? It's like it's always like chasing something.
Yeah. Go to Mandalore. What the fuck?
I did find it odd that they like made a statue for this thing, and then like 2 seconds later, Apollo Creed was like, "Oh, I know guys who can fix that." It's like, well, couldn't you, then why didn't you just fix it? Why did you make a statue for him if you know people that can fix this thing?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Those things were adorable. You also saw the remember Salacious Crumb from Return of the Jedi, Jabba's little pet.
Yeah, they're in the trees.
Yeah, they live free there. So Navarro, how much time has passed? Because Favreau said,
I think it's 2 years.
Yeah, Favreau said that Grogu was with Luke for like 2 years.
Right.
So Navarro is now prosperous, progressive, thriving,
and a great guitarist. Anyway,
Dave Navarro is a great guitarist. Jane's Addiction, Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know.
Now he's on that Netflix show making hosting tattoo.
Oh, he's on the tattoo show.
Sessions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave
Inked,
Navarro's
Inked,
great.
that's what it is.
I love that scene when they're traveling through hyperspace and you see those giant space whales.
That's right out of the Rebels, I think.
Yeah, what are
right?
those rugs? Do you recognize those things?
Evidently, they could fly into the warp stream. They could warp.
They're Purgils or Purgils. And apparently in Rebels, you learn that like this is how they learn to travel through hyperspace.
Yeah.
By watching these space whales do it. They're like, oh shit, we could do that. So, but the way they did it, they didn't really explain it. You saw the scale of the fucking thing. It was great. Those things were huge.
Yeah, they used them as weapons, I think, in the Rebels. It was pretty sick how they used them.
And then regarding Cara Dune and Moff Gideon, we do get a quick line. Gina Carano, of course, let go from the show over tweets and shit, right? Is that what happened?
Yep. She gone.
So Karga tells Mando, Cara Dune, she was recruited by Special Forces after bringing in Moff Gideon, who was sent off to a New Republic war tribunal. But I also think, like, Mando already knew that, and he said that in the Boba Fett episodes. So it's all getting a little loosey-goosey here. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems a little bit like, fuck it, just watch the show.
Yeah. Oh, and then the pirate scenes were great. Little great duel, and then a dogfight at the end. Pretty good action scene.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened in this like little half hour.
I was going to say about the pirates, they still do a really good job making their faces look really
practical
real.
masks and
practical.
shit, but they looked amazing. So we meet a new dude, Pirate King Gorian Shard, who looks like Swamp Thing or like something from like Spaceballs.
What was that?
I don't know.
It looked
That
like
was
he was
cool.
wearing it looked like he was wearing like a fake Christmas tree on his face.
He looked like Pizza the Hut from fucking Spaceballs.
Yeah,
Just stuff dripping off of him.
that's very Star Wars-y though too.
So very Star Warsy. So you know this guy's going to be giving Mando trouble throughout the season. New antagonist to follow him around, be a pain inside. And yeah.
Are they building towards some sort of like Mandalorian war or something? That was the vibe I got. Not war, but just like there's like different factions in the
There are
Mandalorian.
different
I feel like
factions.
it's going to be the battle for Mandalore. I think that Din Djarin is going to discover that Mandalore is not like this wasteland or maybe there is some kind of redeemable quality when he gets to Mandalore and he realizes that maybe you should whip that sword out.
Yeah, where's the Darksaber? Why? We saw him learning how to use it in Boba Fett. Those are kind of cool scenes. But he's like, I have it. It's safe. I don't know where it is. Why doesn't he just whip it out? Is he better with it?
Excuse me while I whip out my Darksaber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Grogu being just a little kid spinning in that chair, force spinning himself in the chair. Like that's, you find a revolving chair.
That was cute.
Yeah.
I like Carl Weathers' cape.
Oh, he's got little droids carrying his fucking cape. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's high magistrate. He's like, that's high
right.
magistrate to you.
That's right.
And we got to see a lot of Mando weapons in the beginning. That was kind of cool. Although none of them worked against that fucking thing. It was all for Jedis. So overall, yeah, good. First chapter back into the show.
I
I'll
feel
leave
like
it up to you guys. What do you think?
I feel like a lot happened. It was definitely it moved very quickly. I just after watching Andor, and now I can't, maybe want this, but I want something that feels like it was as well thought out as Andor. Doesn't have to be as serious, but I mean, they clearly knew what they were doing with Andor.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they're going to end at the next season.
Yeah.
But so they have a beginning, middle, and an end. They know where it's going to end. I feel like hopefully they stick the landing on that. But this one could learn some lessons from that show. I think
you might not like this news. I saw Favreau has said he's already written season 4, and he's also said he is writing with no ending in mind. So he doesn't know where he's going.
That sounds about right, because they probably had no idea that Mandalorian. I mean, they hoped it would do well, but they definitely didn't have a beginning, middle, and end. So
Right. And now they know they can like milk it and stretch it out of what a hit it is. Here's the thing, like Andor, people talk like actual fucking people, right? Like humans would talk. This show is like so Star Wars talky. I mean, it's great, but it gets really corny,
Oh, yeah, it's super corny.
Like when that bust of his head smashes the droid, he goes, "That's using your head." I was like, "Really? Really? That's the line?" Okay.
It was a show that I would say I watched it. For me, it was inoffensive, but it also, like, after watching it, maybe after watching something else shortly after, I completely forgot what I'd watched.
Well, they're also like real short, digestible episodes, right? It's
Right,
not. It's not a big time.
It's a snack.
Yeah,
Little snack.
Yeah, keep it going. So that's what this is. It's fine if that's what they're doing. It's
not
fine.
offensive like Boba Fett, where you got a fat guy
Yes.
swinging around his stick and then trying to convince me that he's like this amazing warrior.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I mean, that's all on how you direct it, to be honest with you. There was just Robert Rodriguez is not the guy. So
or having a little girl outrun.
I was going to bring that
grown
up.
men.
Yes, outrun, flee
Like
from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Oh, you talk about Obi-Wan? Yeah,
Well,
Obi-Wan was.
I'm bashing two things at once, but
That was the other thing I was going to bring up because stuff like that. No, but the show's always
it's
been
completely
fun.
different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you watch this and you watch Andor, and you're like, these are just two vastly different shows.
Yeah, and it's awesome that there's these two sides of Star Wars because why not? Why can't there it be both?
Yeah,
things?
that's true.
No, they can exist in the same universe, just like Ant-Man and Winter Soldier could exist.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
it works for either of them. Just we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yes, and currently Pedro Pascal on like two of the biggest shows on TV at the same time.
Yeah, he's riding high right now.
Protecting children. He is the internet's daddy.
yeah.
Is with his helmet on, off, doesn't matter. Pedro will protect us all.
Yeah, just give him your kid.
Yes.
And,
Give him your kid. He will get him there.
yeah, he'll take him on an adventure.
All right, good stuff. We will, we'll talk about it as it goes on and review the whole season once it ends. As we do, let's take a quick break here, play some promos after the break. It's time to talk about Rocky movies.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Shalomi, my homies, this is Dan from Netflix and Swill. Every year, Gerald from Two Peas puts on his personal movie awards, affectionately called the Golden Peas, honoring the previous year in film. This year will be the first year as a YouTube broadcast, and we'll have special guest presenters giving out awards in 7 movie categories, including Best Movie, Best Female Performance, and Best Horror Movie, just to name a few. And the best part about all of this is that the winners are voted on and chosen by you. These awards are 100% based on your participation and votes. Please help me share and promote the Golden Peas leading up to the event, and don't forget to cast your ballot this year. Head over to 2peasonapod.com/Golden Peas to see the list of nominees and cast your votes. And then be sure to tune in on Monday, March 13th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern to see the winners revealed live on YouTube. We will have some fantastic special guests, and Gerald will be joined by co-host, the god of podcasting himself, Loy Sauce. We hope you join us this year to once again celebrate our shared love of the movies.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? This is Logan at Mostly Superheroes, a podcast that was partly inspired by the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, MCU, DC heavy, with other content that comes out of HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and more. We're committing to doing something new every day in 2021, so come join the fun, check out the schedule. Find us at mostlysuperheroes.com and enjoy the rest of the show.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, you should definitely sign up for our awesome Patreon Jock and Nerd fan club.
Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon, and you'll see all the tiers, the benefits, how you can give back and support the show. Huge thank you to our latest patron. Very generous pledge by one Mr. Dirk Overton. Thank you, Dirk.
Yes,
Thank you, my man.
Dirk.
Thank you for supporting the show. Dirk, he gets everything. At Dirk's level, he gets access to a exclusive RSS feed
Yeah.
where the shows come out early. There's bonus content. He would have heard all of our instant reactions to Creed 3, the movie we're about to review.
Yeah.
As bonus, he gets access to our Discord monthly hangout. Discord benefits.
Wow.
It's a good time.
Does he also get access to your OnlyFans?
My OnlyFans is under maintenance right now. I've shut it down,
okay.
so but he will eventually. The Discord happens every month. Check our Patreon page for the date. He also gets to pick any movie and force us to watch any movie and review it just for him.
Don't say force, because then they're gonna pick
Okay,
shitty
you can
stuff.
pick a good movie for us to review. Your favorite movie. The last one we were good on. We didn't shit on. So
yeah.
And he also gets a t-shirt.
Oh, shit.
At his level, Dirk, you will be getting a Jock and Nerd exclusive t-shirt. Thank you so much for your support. If any of that sounds like fun, hit the link. It's in the show description, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, let's get to this week's movie review. Just out, we will be reviewing Creed 3. Here's your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
The third Creed, the ninth Rocky movie, whatever you want to call it. This is a franchise that is old as I am, 75 years. No, not that old. Rocky, the first movie coming out, 1976. Like almost 50 years of Rocky movies. It's crazy.
Yeah, wow.
On Rotten Tomatoes, the movie Creed 3 currently sitting at 87% on the tomato meter. 7.1 out of 10. Audience, 96%.
All right.
The movie was made for about $75 million, which is like the highest budget of any of the Creed movies, and opens opening weekend domestically to a respectable like $58.7 million. In fact, knocking out Ant-Man for the number one spot this weekend. Only after 2 weeks, Ant-Man's down. Down and out. Currently, it is sitting at $101 million worldwide, which isn't bad. This is a franchise best, franchise high. The first Creed opened to 29 million, second Creed opened to 35 million, and now they got to 58. This one, directed by Micheals B. Jordan in his feature film debut, directorial debut, directing himself just like Stallone did, first movie, and a couple of movies, with a screenplay from Keenan Coogler and Zach Balin, starring Micheals B. Jordan, of course, as Adonis Creed, Tessa Thompson returning as Bianca, his wife, Jonathan Majors playing Damian Anderson. You got Wood Harris returning as Little Duke, Tony Little Duke Burton, Felicia Rashad as Adonis's mother, and Mila Davis Kent playing their daughter, Amara Creed. Also, quick cameos by Florian Montaigne. I can't say that name. Victor Drago coming back. And a couple other people. Did I miss anyone? That's the main cast.
Yeah. No Sly, though.
But the first technically Rocky movie to not have Sylvester Stallone. That's kind of kind of crazy.
But we can get into that a little bit later. But let's.
Anthony, tell me about your theater experience. Give us the plot. What happens in Creed 3?
Oh, I saw this on a Sunday. There's no theater experience.
Mellow.
It was a Sunday afternoon and probably 15 people there. No one sitting in the premium seats because they're $1 more.
I didn't see that when I bought tickets.
I did.
You did?
It was like $1 more.
I didn't.
Premium seat. AMC. But I saw it IMAX, so there was that. Yeah. Creed 3. So Creed 3, we are at a place now where Adonis Creed, is champion. He has just won his last fight, retired. He's been retired for about 3 years. He's now in the promotion business, training fighters, and someone from his past that he's known as a child and was also into boxing and even a better boxer than he was put in jail, just gets out of jail, and shows up in his life and is looking for assistance in still trying to achieve his dreams of being a boxer because he had seen Adonis be a boxer and basically do all the things that which is played by Jonathan Majors, playing Damian Anderson or Dame Anderson. He sees that Adonis lived the life he wanted to live, and we jump into sort of their friendship turned rivalry, plus Adonis dealing with the fact that someone from his past has come back, and it was a part of his life that he wanted to repress, and he's dealing with that with his family and telling his family about that, and also trying to raise his daughter to not have the anger issues that he has. So a couple things going on.
A lot of things going on.
No Sly. Did I mention that?
Yeah, no Sly. And what did you think? Was Sly missing? Does Michael B. Jordan do a good job?
I think Michael B. Jordan does a good job. I think I did miss Sly. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But I think within the context of the story, it doesn't necessarily need Sly. The reason I miss Sly is I think Sly, don't get me wrong, I like Creed a lot. I think Sly's character is just a little bit more likable than Adonis. But other than that, I'm not going to focus too much on him because this movie is more about Adonis, his family, his struggle, his past coming back to him, and also kind of Michael B. Jordan's first time on the big stage as far as a director. I think overall I like the movie. I think it's a solid movie. I think there's some good performances from Majors, from Tessa Thompson, from what's his name, Michael B. Jordan's good. I really like Majors as the like antagonist.
Yeah.
You know, after 9 films, there's only so many ways you can film a boxing fight, and I kind of liked that he took a risk with some of the way the boxing is shot.
Yeah.
In terms of making it almost like a surreal type thing, which, you know, people might love or hate, but at least he put his stamp on it and made it something different. And the way he kind of shot some stuff with the music and all that, I thought it all was a little bit, it was different. You could tell that he was trying to do something here, right?
Yeah.
The only criticism I have of the movie is, well, 2 things. One, there's no way in hell like this story would ever play out.
There is some suspension of disbelief you have to.
But this is also a Rocky franchise.
It's a Rocky movie.
So you kind of have to, you kind of do that. This is the thing. I did feel like it. I don't know how long was the movie, like 2.5, 2:20?
It felt
2:15?
shorter than that. Maybe it's just 2 hours.
Is it just 2 hours? I felt like it could have been longer.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is
it's 1:56.
Oh, wow, 1:56.
Yeah.
So I felt like it could have been longer just because the turn from Jonathan Majors as Dame being like good to all of a sudden like he was working him the whole time.
Yeah.
And then they're just building to the fight. I feel like they kind of rushed through that.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could have like breathed. They could have let that breathe out a little bit more and really explored the more of their relationship. Because the best part is them two interacting and like. So I feel like that was a little bit shortchanged, but overall, I like the movie.
Nice.
Let me add this too. I freaking love the Rocky franchise.
Yeah.
Like these movies as a kid made me want to be a boxer. So like all these movies of all Rocky's 1, even 5, I've loved.
Oh boy.
And then Rocky Balboa, and then now these Creed franchise. I don't necessarily love them the way I loved the Rocky movies because I wasn't a kid watching these movies, but I just have a great appreciation for all these films and the fact that it's still a franchise.
Yeah.
And it's the best sports franchise ever. And so I have a huge affinity for this entire thing. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I mean, the legacy is clearly there. The fact that they're still making Rocky movies, almost
and
50
Creed
years
was
later.
like the blueprint for how to like do a legacy sequel, right? Where you like take something that no one thought they wanted, but continue that story. So, all right, go ahead, guys.
So, Ruggs, how did this movie hit you? In a lot of ways, it is very much a Rocky movie, but then there's things that are trying to make it fresh and push it into its own thing. Did it work for you?
Sometimes and sometimes not. Overall, I think this is a successful movie. Michael B. Jordan, he planted his flag in this, and he really is now showing himself off as like, look, I'm a director now. I can do this and do it well. I don't think this was you got Ryan Coogler on was it on the last one or the one before this one? I don't remember.
He was the first one, and then
Capel Jr.
Jeff Capel, I think.
Yeah, Steve Capel.
Yeah, so the first one was very well directed, and I feel like this is just as good in a lot of ways. As far as direction is concerned, story is where it's weak. Let's just get the elephant out of the room about Stallone. I feel like I have to talk about it, even though this is not his movie.
Do you know why he's not in this movie?
Well, let me. So him and Irvin Winkler are at odds because he wanted to have some ownership of the Rocky franchise, and he been trying to get it, I guess, because he wants it for his kids, the legacy, Yeah,
he sold it off many years ago.
Yeah, when he was vulnerable and needed money.
Yep.
And so this guy's like, fuck you, but you should at least give him a piece, but he didn't. So, I guess he, used that leverage. He said, I'm not going to be in the movie. And, Stallone didn't really like the direction that this movie was going in anyway, because these Creed films, as much as they're great films, they're not really Rocky films. And not because Rocky's not in them, because what is a Rocky film?
Right.
Rocky is a movie you can watch with the entire family that's not offensive, that, I mean, other than the violence that's going on, and they're inspirational.
Yeah.
And the people are larger than life.
Underdog stories.
It's about underdog stories, overcoming things, and figuring out your place in the world. And now, and Creed does some of those things.
Yeah.
But what it's also doing is making a very mature, the music has got curse words in it, like all this stuff. Like, it's just like, you can't take like a 7-year-old boy to this thing, or 7-year-old
it's still
kid
PG-13.
Yeah, you can't. It's aging out of like that whole universal appeal. It's becoming more of a, I guess, a smaller target audience in a way. So I understand what Stallone was talking about. But it's okay. Like, Creed's supposed to take the franchise in a new direction and all that stuff, but it does have its growing pains there. I also think that when you have someone like Stallone that wrote, it was the driving force behind this franchise, to not give that character its proper, I guess, end piece. Like, I think you could say, okay, he went home and visited his son and that's it. But there's literally many opportunities where they could have had him in the film or mentioned him in the film. Other than that, they mentioned him just as the gimmick to the fight.
Yeah, they mentioned him like twice. That's it.
Yeah. So to get that out of the way, I had to get that out of the way before I actually talk about the movie. So it would have been nice. I feel like they were smart in not, I guess, making a final statement like, oh, he's dead or whatever.
Killed him off.
Because they could come to their senses. But if Stallone's even alive when they make the next one, if they make another one.
They plan to make another one. From
yeah. So they could have the opportunity to tie it up then, but then you gotta get this weird, weird hole there. But okay, all that said, all that out of the way, here's my nitpicks. I think the movie's good. I think Jonathan Majors is a cool character. But I do think that there is an opportunity there. And I feel like this movie's about trauma, but we never actually get into the trauma other than they really don't, they could have maximized that. All right. I think that was one of the things that Stallone didn't want to get into, like abuse and stuff like that. But now that he's not in the movie, let's go for it then. I don't know. What is that?
I mean,
what
the
was
trauma
going on?
with the dad, not the.
Yeah, that dude who used to beat them up. I didn't even.
Leah.
It was. Yeah, I didn't even feel like that was given its due.
No, it wasn't. And
then on top of that, when Felicia Rashad dies, or she's sick this whole time, no other family members. Don't they have doesn't she have kids?
Yeah, she had kids.
And they never show up.
Well, and
I thought that was odd.
This is where Rocky would have showed up, right? To her fucking funeral.
Yeah, and Rocky would have showed up, or somebody would have showed up. Even any of the people from the previous movies would have showed up.
Yeah.
So that was an opportunity there. Even Milo Ventimiglia could have showed up.
Rocky's son.
Yeah. They could have done something, but the point is that a lot of people were missing from this funeral. So they were really laser focused and blind to any other characters they needed in this story that would have made it feel more real or make it feel like that this is a real lived in place. I don't know. It was just weird that he mentions his brothers and sisters. They were never my brothers and sisters, but to the point where you never, now Felicia Rashad doesn't ever talk to them. That's weird. I think that was my main two things that was what? I couldn't believe they didn't do that, but, Drago being set up.
Yeah, they're friends.
By Jonathan
they're friends
Majors.
now.
Yeah, they're friends.
Adonis and Drago, yeah.
Yeah, they're friends, and that's kind of a strange thing too. But I can understand that they respect each other at the end of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched a little bit of Creed 2 before I went into Creed 3. I think overall the movie's good. I think some of the stuff they did in the final fight was both amazing and kind of like head scratching a little bit.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the way I read it online? Is he said it's like an anime style.
Yes,
fight.
anime influence in a lot of the movie. That definitely stuck
Well, yeah,
out.
the double punch,
Yes.
that's from like Naruto and like
the cross counter.
Dragon Ball. Yeah.
We'll talk about that. And then just like where it focuses on the eyes and it slows down. And
I feel like probably the best thing in the movie, which I thought he was going to do more of, was in the beginning when he's sees the guy's moves and he like he's kind of in his head calculating where he's going to hit him.
Yeah, that's great.
And they did it so well in that one. They never did it as good. They did it again, but like never as good as they did it there.
They didn't really. It almost felt like they set that up to call back later, and they didn't really call back to it.
Yeah,
exactly. I thought that was going to be a strategy. I think they did do it, but it was done so like not as good as they did it
in that last fight. Yeah.
Well, it was more that last. What I was more focused on was like the fact that they changed the background, right? Like they made it like a prison, and then like. And I thought that was interesting.
I liked all that.
It was okay. Does it really add to it? Does it really
story wise?
Visual. It's just visually,
but story wise, it's telling you it's not about the crowd. It's not about the people. It's these two people. It's a personal story. So in the silence, strip away the crowd. I kind of like these little different flares he added.
But why didn't they use that then? Like If at that point in time you're like isolating everybody, I would like to hear like a little bit more dialogue or something where you wouldn't be able to hear it over the crowd. You know what I mean? They didn't really use it as much.
So here's where what I would say is I think that I liked. Don't get me wrong, I liked it because I think Michael B. Jordan wanted to film a boxing match differently than anyone else had done it, and this was different than any Rocky movie for sure. We'd never seen anyone change the background and isolate them, but I think. What happened was when Jonathan Majors Dame wins the title, that turn where he becomes a bad guy and like is on the beach and has all this crew. I think it's like it's just too rushed. Like I feel like they could have stretched that out more, where we get more of those two in conflict, and it makes that moment in the fight where then everyone's out of the way and it's just them two, and now like. They don't have to say anything because you've done the work leading up to the fight to know like we've now hung out with them and we know exactly why they hate each other and like this is why they need to get in the ring and settle this. I feel like that turn from him playing the long con to like being just straight up a bad guy, I felt it was too abrupt.
But I will say, like in his performance, you got that sense of something just under the surface, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Something,
for sure.
And it got me almost rooting for Majors for Damien many times in this because they show you different boxing styles. He's hitting these awkward parts of your body. The elbow.
Well, no, that's not supposed to make you root for him.
I know, but I was like,
fighting dirty.
He's cheating.
He's cheating.
Yeah.
He's fighting dirty and getting away with it. But part of me was like, oh man, look at this guy fucking get away with this shit. The elbow to the face was great. He fucking cuts him with his elbow.
Yeah, there's some really good shots there that were very anime-like, and I did like that he included that. And I think that as he does it more, he could go back and if he does the next one or if he directs another movie, I think that he'll tighten that up a little bit. I feel like as a first try, though, I think it's pretty respectable.
Dude, very well directed by Jordan. Like, you wouldn't know this is his first movie. I thought he did a fucking great job. It is rather.
What did you think of the training scene? That's usually the training montage.
When I loved Adonis pulling a plane. That's great. You want to see him pull a plane?
I will say this about the training montage, having been a big time Rocky. I don't think it's the best training montage, and the reason I don't think it's the best training montage is because again I think they rushed to the training.
A little bit they do. Yes, you don't really differentiate. Like, here's what Damien's doing. Here's what he's doing.
Well, it's just Damien just becomes such an evil person all of a sudden.
But it kind of is a reverse. Like Damien is kind of like the underdog, like Rocky was fighting Apollo in a way. So I like how they played with this relationship.
Right.
But I think it was too predictable. Like every fight, you kind of knew who was going to win. Like it was obvious.
Yeah. No, it's formulaic.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way in hell. If we're going to get to realism, there's no way in hell a guy coming out of jail is going to get a title fight.
Well, but is it like, okay, think about this. when Rocky fights Drago, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Drago breaks his ribs, fucking punctures his kidney, and he's in the hospital.
Everything goes back to fight.
All right. Then he has to fucking overcome his fear. Yeah. Then he has to train, and he has to go into the desert and train and dig himself a hole. Then he fights Drago. Drago attacks his ribs again. Yeah. And he's screaming in pain. And that last time he has to get up, he's like literally punching the floor to get himself to stand up again. He's in so much pain, and he fucking comes back and one-handed beats Drago. Yeah, of course. All right. With no tricks, no let's use some effects to blur out the audience or whatever. So I think that was as powerful without all those tricks. And just because it was the story was better. The story of how the fight even played out and all those things played out was so much better. Here it was more like, Jonathan Majors like punches him in the eye. And that was it. That was like, you didn't, I don't know. I just felt like, all right, his big thing is that he fights dirty. That was the big thing I was afraid of. Like, what dirty trick? Right. Did he do a dirty trick to him? I don't even know.
I can't remember.
He punched him in the arm in the beginning.
Oh, that's right. In a weird place. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't disagree with any of that in terms of, like, if we're talking comparing final fights, it's a stylistically interesting fight. Stylistically in terms of directed, but I don't know if the drama is there as much as Creed 1 or 2.
I think that Michael B. Jordan's direction is better than in the one where versus Drago. His the way he films the fight is actually better. It's just the way that the fight was written to unfold, like the story that's not supporting the fight as much. You know what I mean? And you even said it. They didn't have that buildup was too quick, so you didn't get the payoff. But it was all things considered still good. But we're really hyper analyzing this. At this
what
point,
if Creed didn't win this fight? I thought that might have been an interesting place to leave it to keep it going. Is that there's?
I don't know. You can't end a Rocky fight where he loses though.
I mean,
a Rocky movie.
No, but that happened.
They do it in Rocky 1 and Creed
and
1,
the first Creed. Yeah.
I don't know. The story in there, those stories were not about them winning.
Right.
It was about going the distance, right?
Both Rocky 1 and Creed 1, they go the distance, and it's more about like
they have to prove themselves that they can do it.
Yeah, it's proving it to themselves that they can be.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of a win. Like,
I don't know if I would have gone with him losing the last fight, but maybe. I don't know. I mean, by the time the movie ended, I was like, "This is a solid movie," but I was also like, "Where the hell are they going to go with this?"
Well, what about the daughter?
What other stories can we do?
The daughter who's watched all his fights and he was teaching her how to box. Well, you jump ahead, make her a boxer. It's her story. I don't know. You do that.
Yeah.
So Michael B. Jordan's going to be old in the next one.
Yeah, you'd have to jump ahead pretty far. But look, real far. I didn't mind that Sly wasn't in this. I actually kind of like that it's becoming its own thing, and that it can keep going in this direction. It is a smaller audience, so that's interesting, and it is like it's moving away from a Rocky movie, but still being in the Rocky franchise in the universe. So I had no problem with that. I thought it was cool.
I could see that perspective. I had that perspective when I first saw the trailer. I was like, oh, I'm glad this is not doesn't tie back in any way to Rocky in terms of like the villain or anything, but
it's almost a standalone.
There's a small part of me that missed him. I'll just say that.
I love the King versus Killmonger. These are variants.
Hey, they're both great actors and they're both in great shape and they were very convincing in the boxing.
You felt those blows, man. The way he shot those people getting hit, I was like, every time. And if you think about it, Damien is kind of like Killmonger. His motivation is very similar. Like, bro, what will you have? The guilt is there. He did. Dude, what do you think? Did he leave him hanging? I mean, the kid ran, and these two paths go drastically different directions.
Well, he had a gun.
He did have a gun.
You know what I mean? Like, do you think that?
But Adonis beat the shit out of that dude.
But let's think about this. This dude is a dude in his probably 30s or 40s. He gets jacked by like a 12-year-old kid. When the cops roll up, they're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, all right, they're not going to really throw the book at this kid. And so he pulled the gun, made it 10 times worse.
And then the fact that his mom hid his fucking letters because she thought he was bad influence, that got me. I was like, oh shit. And he got mad at her. The last thing he said before she died was yelling at her. Good emotional shit.
That was
again. I think if they just pad this out another 20 minutes, I think it makes the fight better. I think we understand even more of like each other's motivations, and I think it makes that scene at the end where they reconcile in the locker room better.
Yeah, and then they're buddies at the end.
Because like the way it frames is like the first hour and a half of the movie is like this deep like character stuff. Like they're both, you can see like the what you mentioned, the underlying anger in Dame and like their like awkwardness around each other because they were best friends, but then they feel abandoned, and you know one feels abandoned, the other one feels like he left the other guy, and they all feel like it's each other's fault. But then they switch it so quick to him being just diabolically evil, right? He's just and then the fight happens, and they switch it again, and now they're friends again.
Yeah,
it's just like you just needed more time for like I don't know.
Yeah, it was too quick to go. Yeah, because like and in the locker room at the end, they're friends again.
Yeah.
I was like,
and they both and like the way he was acting, Dame, where he was like, "This is all your fault. You never like visited me. You like lived the life I live." And then at the end, after the fight, he's like, "It's neither of our faults." I was like, "What?
It's somebody's fault." Wait a minute.
Like, wait a minute. Like, I understand like people can change their mind, but like you were doing just this whole subtle thing earlier, and now just like I got my ass kicked. You know what? I forgive you. It wasn't your fault. Like I don't think you would just drop it that quickly.
Yeah, that whole last bit did seem a little rushed. You're absolutely right. But
I get what they were going for. Like there is emotion in that scene, but like it could be so much better if they just. Someone was saying, I saw some other reviews where they were like, if you could analyze the earlier trailers, there's a lot of footage that they cut out.
Oh, interesting.
Like someone rushed, like someone in the editing room, or someone's decision was to just cut out a lot of stuff.
And I mean, Jonathan Majors is, I would say, even more compelling of an antagonist in this than maybe as Kang. Like, he had so much to do here. He was so good.
Just a lot more subtlety, right?
Yeah.
Like in his face and the way he looks at everyone, and like
when he walks into his house and he sees how fucking crazy
he's like,
this shit is.
You got glass floors. What's this? You do floors. That dinner scene is great.
I love the scene where he's talking to, where he notices Tessa Thompson singing the song that she wrote.
Yeah.
And then he's like, must like something along the lines of like, it stinks, right? Seeing someone else sing the song you wrote.
Yeah, he's like pushing her buttons a little.
Yeah. I was like, that's fucking.
I mean, so there's also that detail. You see him talking to like two of his buddies at the table right before that scene, and then they take off, and then the next thing you hear is Drago's attacked, and I was like, oh, that's kind of clever, but it was like so predictable. I was like, oh, he sent them. He fucking sent them to fucking damage Drago so he can get a shot.
Well, and if you wanted to go super realistic, right? Like one of the challengers to the heavyweight title just got his arm broke by a guy in prison.
Oh, yeah.
And the other guy that happens to be there is the guy that's getting the next title shot who has pictures with the guy in prison. They're like, there's like no way. Like this guy,
what's happening?
There would be like a federal investigation into this.
Yep, not in the Rocky universe. Let him fight.
But, it's Rocky. It's Rocky. So.
Let him fight.
In the Rocky universe, you can the accountant can take all your money and then never have to pay it back.
Paulie?
Paulie.
I mean, even down to
it ain't my fault.
Adonis is wearing white shorts in the last fight, and
he's wearing black.
Damien's wearing black shorts. You're like, oh, he's gonna win. He's got the white shirts on. But part of me was like, man, I kind of want fucking Damien to win.
Yeah, do you think that Adonis is likable as a character?
I don't know.
He's definitely not. What makes the Rocky franchise for me, like the Rocky portion stick out, is just Rocky's just a much, not like much more, but just a genuinely like always going to do the right thing, good guy, like no temper. Whereas Adonis is like kind of this wild card where he yells at his wife, and it's like he could snap kind of thing. He's definitely, to me, not as likable as Rocky.
Yeah. And you kind of want to like the guy's name is
like
the movie.
Rocky's like the fun-loving like guy next door that like had potential. Where Adonis is like this angry kid growing up that needed some structure in his life.
Like, well, they're both criminals. Like, I mean, Rocky's way more of a criminal, but he didn't even want to beat up the guys that he had to beat up. He just had no other job.
Right.
I mean, it a little bit had the effect of like Cobra Kai, where I started to sympathize with Johnny Lawrence. I I was like, yeah, you didn't visit him. What the fuck? Take his shit, Dame. Take it. It's yours. I was rooting for him. Part of me.
Yeah, I can see that.
But overall, yes, I did. I thought it was
It's a good
very
time.
good boxing
Yeah, it's
movie.
good.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah.
Honestly, even Rocky 5, I like all the Rocky.
Oh my
movies.
God. Okay, well, that's perfect place. I want you to rate this movie, and where would you put it amongst the 9 Rocky movies?
Well, let's do it like this.
Yeah.
I'll rate the movie,
Yeah.
but I'll also, before I rate the movie and put it where I put amongst the 9 movies, I'll rate the final fight.
Oh, okay.
Because a good Rocky movie
Yeah.
has an awesome final fight. I'm going to give the final fight I'm going to go up as high as 7.
Okay.
And the reason I go high as 7 is because stylistically, I really appreciate what Michael B. Jordan was trying to do.
Yes.
But it doesn't have the emotion that a lot of the other final fights have, nor as much drama. So final fight 7. It's not the best final fight. The all-time best final fight for me in a Rocky movie. Oh man.
Is it?
It's either between Rocky 1 or 4.
Is it
But,
Drago? I was going to say it's either
I love
Drago or
I love
the first
fucking
one.
Drago. So as far as where does this rank amongst the Rocky films, I actually put this in my letterbox the other day, so let me just pull that up. I have this. Bear with me. Out of 9 Rocky films, I have this at number 7.
Oh, does not make the top 5. Interesting. Okay.
But here's the thing: I like even Rocky 5. I like.
That's everyone's
that.
always at the bottom of all the.
It's at the bottom of my list. But like after the Rocky 5, all the other 8 movies I like.
Okay.
I have this last amongst the Creed films.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, but maybe with time, maybe I'll like it more. But I thought Creed 1 is clearly the best for me.
Yeah.
Creed 2, I think, is an underrated film that really actually makes Rocky 4 a better movie.
Ah, I didn't think about it that way.
Because it adds color to Drago's character. But yes, I got it at 7. So, and as far as a rating, I'm going to also go 7. 7 out of 10. Solid flick. Good, respectable outing for Michael B. Jordan. Don't know where the hell this is going if they're going to continue it, but there you go.
Oh, they can make more. Okay, Rugs, rate it, rank it.
Rank it, huh? It's so tough to rank it. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's tied with a lot of movies that I like.
Okay.
I feel like I just watched Creed 2 and I really liked that one. It felt like a kind of like a Rocky movie because, you had Drago in there and Rocky in there. So it had like a lot of the Rocky stuff in there. So it felt like more of so I like that one a little bit better as far as, and the story and how that unfolds. A little bit better, but I like the character of Damien.
Yeah.
And that interplay, that personal story. So it's tough. I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know, I can't really rank it. I mean, it's not going to be as good as the first 4 Rockies to me. Like that, they're on top.
Yeah.
And then I feel like all the Creeds, my least favorite is Rocky Balboa and Rocky 5, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're underneath these. But yeah, that's where I rank it. And I'm probably going to give it a 7 as well. I thought it was very solid. I thought that let's watch out for Michael B. Jordan's next project. It's probably going to be pretty good. I think he's got good instincts. And he just needs to have a little bit more seasoning, just a little bit more experience and know what not to cut, what to keep in, what to add in,
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, no, but for his first outing, holy shit, a fantastic job. I love this personal story. I love the different flair with the anime influence he brought to this. So I enjoyed all that. I'm going to rate it. I will give it a 7.5. As far as ranking, I rewatched the first Creed. Fuck, that movie's so good. That middle fight scene, that long ass one take. I was just thinking about how they had to shoot that, and like all the action and making sure the cameraman doesn't get fucking hit. In the camera work, it's masterful.
Yeah,
masterful. So, yeah,
that answer.
The best, obviously, number 1 is going to be the first Rocky movie, 1976. Number 2.
Let me do my rankings too after.
Okay, number 2, I would put Creed. So I'll put Rocky 1, 2 Creed, 3, I kind of want to put, kind of like you, Anthony, for nostalgic reasons, Rocky 4, because I think that was the first Rocky movie I saw when I was like young and impressionable. And I went back, I saw the other ones. And fucking, come on, Eye of the Tiger. That's Eye of the Tiger, right?
No, that's
No, that's 3.
Oh, that's 3. Okay, so 3 I would put. What was the song in 4? Living in America? That was James Brown.
That was in there. Living in America. They sing it. Hearts on Fire.
Burning Heart. Yeah.
Burning Heart.
I'm going to go Rocky 1, Creed, Rocky 4, Rocky 3.
Whoa.
That's Survivor, right? That's Eye of the Tiger. Fucking got it. Yeah.
Tiger, yeah.
And then I kind of like this one. Fuck, it's tied with like Creed 2. I'm going to go Creed 2, Creed 3, kind of right there. I've not seen Rocky Balboa. I need to watch that. That's a good one. I heard a lot of people say it's underrated.
I like Rocky.
And then
I think that the fight isn't as good because, Stallone's old.
Yeah, he's old.
So like that's the worst part of the movie is the fight. Like, and everything else is pretty good.
And then
the bad guy's not that threatening.
He's not good.
But I would put Creed 3, just I guess like tied for 5 of the top 5.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
You want to hear my quick breakdown? Because I put some thought into this.
Yes.
So I'm going to start from the bottom.
Okay.
And preface again, I like even the worst Rocky movie I like because I just love fucking Rocky. So Rocky 5 is my last, but I still like Rocky. I still like it. I like the street fight at the end. I like the line where he goes, when Tommy Morrison punches Paulie in the face, he's like, you knocked him out. Why don't you try knocking me out now? And then the fake Don King's like, in the ring, Rock, in the ring. And Rocky goes, my ring's outside. And it's like, fuck yeah, that's fucking great. So Rocky 5 is last. Yeah. Number 8 for me is Rocky 2. It's actually really fucking slow in the beginning, but damn good training scene. I forgot about Rocky with 2. The kids running with him.
Yeah, that's great.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah. And then he wins the title at the end. Yo, Adrian, we did it. Right. That's fucking awesome. Oh. So I got that. I might have to move that up, actually. Fuck. Creed 3, 7, as I mentioned. Okay. Creed or Rocky Balboa I had at 6. Okay. I think this is a much better like going out party for Rocky. Yeah. It's a really underrated movie. But yeah, Rug Boy's completely right. He is old and the villain's not good. Creed 2 is my 5th. Okay. As I mentioned earlier. Rocky 3 is my 4. Okay. So and then Rocky 4 is my 3. Yeah. And I feel like those two movies are like it's like tomato because they're like they're almost like 80s action movies.
They're peak 80s. Yeah.
They're peak like bad guy, villain, fucking he has to come back and fight someone that's like scary as shit.
I mean the
like,
Russians,
those movies.
It's the Cold War. You got Russians, it's perfect.
Yeah, Rocky 4 is the movie I watched the most as a kid. And then I got Creed is at number 2 and then obviously the best Rocky.
I think Rocky 4 made the most money also.
Rocky 4 is like that ended the Cold War.
It did. Rocky 4 absolutely. I mean,
and I know Ruggs mentioned it a long time ago, but I do have to watch that Rocky versus Drago director's cut. Even though I don't know why it's called the director's cut because Stallone directed Rocky 4 as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's the one everyone's saying that one's not too bad.
So he recut it to make it more serious and the fight more brutal and longer between him and Drago. Like the fight's pretty good. I mean, it's not the same. It's the same fight, but like it's different angles. And
yeah.
Wow.
It's someone said it's like you watch and you're like you're totally thrown off because it's just so. Yeah, it's not the same vibe.
That movie's burned into your brain. When you see a different version, you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
This what's interesting is that the series starts out fairly serious. And then we're
really, I mean, it's a drama.
Very serious. Like he wins
the Oscar.
Wins the Oscar, Best Picture, written, directed, amazing. And then very quickly goes campy, kind of.
Can I mention in Rocky Balboa, my favorite thing in Rocky Balboa is the speech that he makes when he's about to start training. He's like, you got calcium deposits in your bones. Oh yeah. So you can't move. You can't spar. Can't do anything. We need to make some hurting bomb. We need pure horsepower.
Oh my God.
I was like, yeah.
It was just him lifting.
And that whole thing was just, it psyched me up. Like, okay, old man, let's go, motherfucker.
That line, and then when he talks about like, it's about how much you get hit and keep going. I'm like,
those two little bits of writing, gold, right? Gold. It's
No, but you're absolutely right, Imran. Yeah. Like because this has lived for 50 years, you've seen this franchise live in like almost every decade of like movie making. So you see it in the 70s, then you get an 80s Rocky, Then you get like 90 with Rocky 5. Then you get 2000s with Rocky Balboa, and then now you're getting this like new wave Creed Rocky
and like the,
vibe.
the Creed movies brought it back to like a kind of a serious fucking boxing drama, you know, and it's great. So
and now this one we're getting like anime style fights.
Now it's going another place, which is kind of fun. Like this could live on for another 50 years.
I don't know about that.
But yeah. I think Stallone has some like crazy ideas though. I think he wants to like. Last I read, he wants to do another spin-off and like a TV show or something.
I think he still wants to make some Rockies. There was talk of a Drago spin-off. I don't know if it was a movie or TV show. That could be all right. Maybe, I don't know, with Florian Montigny.
Well, Michael B. Jordan said on February 2nd that a Creed 4 film was happening for sure, and that also spin-offs were being
Well, I mean, and it's kind of like he resets it, right? It's like a standalone Creed 1 again, where he can start fresh and do whatever he wants-ish. So
I love fucking Rocky. It's the one of the more iconic characters ever made.
Yeah.
Let's find out what our listeners thought of the movie. Do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks.
Jose Ibarra commented, during the fight scenes, anime fans went from geek boner to full on. Consult a physician if your erection lasts for more than 4 hours. You can see the heavy anime influence, specifically the Naruto versus Sasuke cross counter punch. Yeah, as we mentioned.
Sasuke, Imran.
How do you say it?
Sasuke.
But it's spelled Sasuke.
Yeah, well,
Sasuke. That is from, what is that from? Dragon Ball Z? Or Naruto?
That is from Naruto. Believe it.
Yes, so we've seen the articles. He's a big anime fan, and that cross punch has been done several times. It has been done in Dragon Ball Z and other movies. In anime, it goes back to the 70s.
Yeah, that happens
in
a lot.
film, the first time that happened was actually in a Charlie Chaplin movie, 1931 comedy City Lights, where Chaplin is he's the tramp and he's boxing with a prize fighter, and they both knock each other out at the same time. So this tradition of the cross counter trope goes back a long time in film, and it was cool to see. It was crazy too. That was a crazy moment where they knocked each other out. But yeah, all those little flourishes where he focuses on the eye and it like zooms in and times. I loved all that. I thought that was great. Gregory Witzerek says, overall, I enjoyed the movie, but some of the plot points were a little far-fetched. Dame getting a shot at the belt that quickly seems kind of ridiculous to me. Yes.
Well, yes.
It was kind of ridiculous, but again, it's a Rocky movie.
Never would happen.
Never would happen. But good.
At least in the other films, they like tried to explain some of this stuff. Like Rocky 1, he gets a shot, right?
Yeah.
But he's like a journeyman fighter, and he's had like 50 fights, and Apollo's trying to like make a little underdog story. And then in Drago or Rocky 4, Drago gets a shot at Apollo, but it's an exhibition, right? So you can't like.
Yeah.
And then the Rocky, when Rocky fights Drago in Russia, it's an unsanctioned fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, like they try to like dance around it, whereas this one's like so ridiculous. There's no way.
I did love that line where Damien's like, if Apollo Creed could take a chance on the underdog, why can't you?
It's a good line.
Making him like kind of the Rocky.
A little different, but
a little different, but I mean, yeah, he was a great and he wasn't even really an antagonist, but he was. But then they're friends, so I thought it was nice and layered. Moving on to some other news, Scott Swangwarum from Mostly Superheroes podcast posts an article saying there's a new Hellboy.
Oh, shit.
Do you know that they are redoing Hellboy again?
What?
Yes, we just had David Harbour play Hellboy.
Right.
And they're doing a Hellboy reboot. This one is called The Crooked Man. Couple of interesting things. Playing Hellboy is this dude, Jack Kesy, who was in Deadpool 2. He was Black Tom. And he's been on some other things. Bruce O'Hue says he was good in The Strain, as well as 12 Strong. Mm-hmm. And The Crooked Man, and it's actually, this movie is being written by Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy. Who is...
Sure, he wants money.
He needs money. It is being directed by a dude named Brian Taylor, who did Crank.
Right.
And he did that show Happy. That was like a lot like Crank, like crazy, with that imaginary floating horse character. But like, imagine like the energy of Crank in like a low budget Hellboy movie. The story is
that what Hellboy's not really about?
Well,
that,
look,
but whatever.
here's the official plot synopsis for The Crooked Man. This is a story Mike Mignola wrote in comics, and they're adapting this short story. Synopsis: stranded in 1950s rural Appalachia, Hellboy and a rookie BPRD agent discover a small community haunted by witches, led by the Crooked Man, a local devil with a troubling connection to Hellboy's past. So this could, that's interesting. What do you think about that so far?
Sounds fine.
I like that it's maybe like a small scale story, 1950s.
It's Hellboy's daddy,
Appalachia. Bruce O. Hughes also says Harbour was fine as the last Hellboy, and Perlman was even better. The actor has never been a problem. This is true. I thought David Harbour did do a good job. That movie.
Yeah, it's not his fault that the makeup in it was shitty.
And the movie is like completely forgettable. I know I've watched it. I can't remember any of it.
Yeah, it was bad.
But Guillermo del Toro's original with Ron Perlman. It's a fucking great movie. Anthony, you excited for more Hellboy? Do you like Hellboy?
No.
Why are they making this again? Does that question?
I don't. I just don't. I've never gotten into Hellboy.
He's a big red demon dude with horns, cut off stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the first two I heard were pretty good.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting. I think that Reboot came out just a few years ago, so there's no original ideas in Hollywood, I guess. At least they got Mike Mignola, though, so there could be saving grace. Ruggs, Geek Boner, Floppy Jock for this?
I have no reaction. I am ambivalent.
It's mid. Okay, let's move on to this other thing. Jose Ibarra posted a trailer for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem animated movie that's coming out, saying this looks dope. I think Imran will appreciate the music. I absolutely did appreciate the music. Anthony, do you know what the music was?
Nope.
You didn't recognize that?
De La Soul?
No. Tribe Called Quest. Can I kick it? Tribe Called
I did
Quest.
like the trailer, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, let's talk about this trailer. This is from Seth Rogen. The animation style is stunning. It looks like they're taking what we saw in Arcane and Into the Spider-Verse kind of style, like it's a living illustration.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked great.
Right.
I like that the turtles are actually voiced by real teenagers. That's interesting.
Okay.
That's different.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that they're not gigantic like they were in those weird CGI movies.
Yeah,
with the
that
weird
was weird.
nose. Like the design's okay. I don't know about Donatello wearing glasses. That's kind of weird, but whatever. He's a teenager. They have eye problems. Ruggs, what?
Just braces on Michelangelo.
Oh, he has braces on his teeth? I didn't even understand.
Yeah. He goes to a dentist, evidently.
Ruggs, what do you think of this? What do you think of this style?
I do like the art style, and it feels like it's got energy to it. So I have no problems with that. It's just that these turtle things seem to get further and further away from the source material. I mean, every time that they do it,
and there's been so many different versions of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the last 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Turtles, but as I said, there's so many versions. There's like just in this past like 10 years, there's been at least 3 or 4 versions.
Was the one that they did, the last animated one, that one was more like dark and closer to the source material, right? I never saw that.
No, kinda, but not.
There was a black and white animated one that was a little bit darker.
I think that's the one I'm talking about, right?
And then like Nickelodeon had a bunch of shows, and they kept rebooting their show.
Well, I'm not talking about the shows.
Yeah,
they did one, but it was like they had to like stop these statues that were coming to life with some kind of doohickey or whatever, and it kind of was a little bit. It was like Turtles are more weirder than that. Like, you know, they got the Krang, and they got robots and weird shit from outer space, and this was just felt like a little bit too mystical or whatever. It just was a little bit out of left field for a first animated movie, but the actual
the
turtle
2007 one, right?
Yeah,
TMNT.
Yes, yeah, TMNT. That's the computer animated.
Yeah, I think April O'Neil was a little bit with Sarah Michelle Gellar, I believe, but I feel like April O'Neil was okay in that, but it was okay. That one is legit. Yeah, it was good. There's just so many different versions of the Turtles. They just made them. They made a Ninja Turtle animated movie. Like, it's on Netflix right now.
Listen, it's no secret of the ooze, but Vanilla
dude, that first Ninja Turtles movie is fucking great.
We reviewed it. Yeah, it still
it.
is great. It holds up. It's got this timeless charm to it with the practical helmets, and those fucking suits are amazing.
It was good for kids too.
Yeah.
It was like,
As a kid, my Turtles I always enjoyed was Secret of the Ooze.
Really? Yes.
Well, I mean, as a kid to see fucking
Vanilla Ice,
But not only that, but the fucking rat or whatever. What is a wolf
Splinter?
in a snapping turtle? Tokar and Razor.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
But as an adult, I think I liked TMNT or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in '91 first better.
The original is classic.
Did you like the Michael Bay Turtles? There's so many fucking different versions.
I never saw those movies because they looked so stupid.
They're all right. They're kind of fun, but kind of forgettable. But it's very CGI heavy, and it doesn't seem grounded. This Mutant Mayhem.
I don't get to seem grounded,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
It's Michael Bay. The design was weird with the little nostrils and shit, and they were giant. I like
Fox's April O'Neil's.
Yeah, no, and I like in this Mutant Mayhem that they look like teenagers. They sound like teenagers. Check out this voice cast though. Paul Rudd voicing Mondo Gecko, Giancarlo Esposito as Baxter Stockman, Jackie Chan as Splinter. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rose Byrne as Leatherhead, Seth Rogen voicing Bebop, John Cena voicing Rocksteady, Maya Rudolph is in this, Ice Cube's in this, Post Malone is in this, Hannibal Buress is in this, just a crazy Ayo Edebiri is in this. She was from I think Peacemaker. Great cast. So I don't know. This could be fun. The animation is definitely one that I'm gonna get real lit and go and watch this and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like it just looks like you want to get lost in this world. Okay, let's finish up with some what are we watching. I'm kind of going to segue with a news from the nation into what are we watching like this. Lisa Morrison left us a quick review of Cocaine Bear. She went and saw it. She says, 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up for me. Great 80s vibe. Lots of gore and a very coked up bear. Highly entertaining. 2 thumbs up. I've not seen it yet. But
no, me neither.
Yeah,
I'll wait till it comes out on.
Yeah, I was going to go. My sister wanted to see it. We might go see it, but I have not seen it. So let's just get into Last of Us, episode 8. Everybody caught up, right?
Yeah. Spoilers alert.
Okay, spoilers for that. Okay, so after last week's awesome flashback, which was DLC, we jump back into the game storyline. And kind of like the last big chapter before the ending in the game, they do here. And it was great. It was great. We had some cannibals. Cannibals are great.
I thought it was an awesome episode. So, and pretty actually faithful adaptation of the storyline from the game. So
a lot of things, scene for scene, line for line. You have Troy Baker, who did the performance for Joel in the game. He played James,
right?
Which was kind of cool to see. But yeah, Ellie, these two, have murdered so many people along this journey. At times, I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, just like in The Walking Dead, each side is looking out for itself. They think they're in the right.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, Twitch guy was cannibal. So yeah, kill them all. But there's kids there. I don't know.
Name's Ellie.
Yeah.
What's that? Ellie.
Great line.
The girl who broke your fucking finger.
So great. He's like, what's your name? She goes, eat shit.
Would you call it Little Pieces?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. You see that, but a lot of it right from the game, which was really cool.
What they do a good job of too is they add a little bit more color to the villains or the quote unquote villains, right? So we get a little bit of
you can sympathize a
this
little
community now, and maybe not sympathize, but you just kind of see what he's running. I mean, he's clearly this guy.
This guy's a monster.
He's the most evil guy they've introduced on the show.
But on the other hand, like that girl, like Joel killed her father, right? So you don't think about that when he's going around
in self-defense. He wasn't just sitting there trying to kill him.
He killed the father because the dude sent him out to find people to eat.
Yes, they needed food. They were hungry. But yeah, they do the whole shooting the moose or the deer thing and the negotiating and the medicine. That shit was great.
Yeah, they did great. I mean, and then I had forgotten that in the game this had happened, so they did a good job of like recreating that. And then you get you almost fall for him, and you're like, "Oh, this guy's a good guy." And then how everything happens for a reason. You're like, oh shit,
he's a pedo.
Yes.
Yeah. There's something going on with this guy. But
yeah, that whole when it's burning down is great. It's just like the game.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna probably review the whole thing in next week, so I don't have too much to say other than I'm excited to see the finale.
Yes, and interesting enough, the season finale going up against the Oscars. So we'll see same night.
Oh wow!
But I wonder if it'll be longer. Do they have enough time to finish this whole thing in an hour?
Well, I can say I like this episode a lot better than the last one.
Yeah, well, stuff actually happened. The plot moved forward.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, we're getting somewhere now. We just saw Ellie just become like this badass. It's great.
And I love how they show, when you like sneak up on dudes and fucking choke them out over and over again. Like they do that a couple times here. It's just like in the game, except there's a little more stabby going on. Yeah.
They do the whole torture scene, which is straight from the game.
Oh yeah.
Pop your fucking kneecap off.
Oh my god, that was fucking brutal. I love that line.
Wait, do you remember these from the game, or you stopped? Right?
No, I watched the game through as I was watching the show. But I love that line where he's like, "You point to where we are now and where the thing is, and it better be the same place your buddy points to."
Yeah,
and then he just ends up killing both of them. He's like, "No, I believe him." He just fucking kills the other guy.
I'm not telling you shit. I believe him.
Just murdering motherfuckers left and right. Wow. She's at least killed so many people.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, can't wait for the season finale. We will review the whole shebang next week. Did anybody catch the Chris Rock live?
I watched it live
special. I watched it live too.
I watched it live. I sat there. I've seen Chris Rock in person in concert, and I'm a big Chris Rock fan. I was, of course, going to watch this.
He is the OG. Him, anytime he does a show, you got to tune in. Anthony, did you catch any of this clips or anything?
I caught, what did I catch? I know I know the stuff he said about Will Smith. I didn't catch it live. I haven't caught what exactly he said, but I'm aware of what he said.
Well, it's still up there, right? You can watch the whole special on Netflix. But I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. He goes hard on Will Smith the last fucking 10, 15 minutes. It's fucking fantastic.
I feel like, he had to get that shit off his chest. And that was not received well by Twitter. I looked on it.
Really?
People were like, oh, why is he doesn't leave? I mean, Twitter is a place where you can find someone to defend anything or condemn anything. It doesn't matter what it is.
I think his timing is great. The Oscars are a week away. So it's been almost a year, and this is why you're watching. You're like, what is he going to say? I need closure from the Chris Rock. Is he going to
mention it?
Yeah.
He alluded to it. He's like, I don't need another rapper mad at me. I think my biggest takeaways is the most controversial thing he did was the baby thing.
Oh yes.
About the abortion.
And women's choice. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, he went pretty hard on that, and that's going to fucking piss off a lot of people. But then I feel like he said something that was so controversial that, people used to say all the time, but now you say it, you're like, you're insane. Is he said how powerful women are.
Yeah.
And the idea that they have no power is ridiculous. Yeah. But I don't think that they have more, but I think they have their own power that they can use. So, he kind of went into that. That was interesting.
I mean, there was some ballsy stuff, right? Stuff only Chris Rock can
I don't think it's his best special. No. I don't think he's as funny as he used to be. But I don't think he's really trying to be funny, as he's more as just trying to be as controversial or as straightforward as possible about hypocrisy or whatever. But
you need somebody like that.
I didn't think it was as funny as his other stuff.
Stylistically, I thought it was interesting where he sets up his jokes 3 times. He was repeating himself a lot.
He does that a lot. He always does that.
But it seemed even more. He would say the setup 3 times in a row to build up to the punchline. It was kind of weird, but whatever. It's Chris Rock.
Yeah, it gets tiring sometimes when
and then
he does
fucks up a joke live. That was amazing. And once he finishes, you're like, oh shit, yeah, he fucked up that joke, but he made it work. He pulled it back, and he lands it still.
I think it was interesting to get like if that story about his daughter was true.
That was great. The daughter bit was great. Lola was her name? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's true.
Yeah. So I think that you can, if you want to, you could be one of those people that be like, oh, this is completely worthless and not worth turning into, and it's a complete waste of time, and it's just angry man yelling, blah, blah, blah.
What's Chris Rock?
But I think that I think it's, I'm interested to hear what people have to say when they're trying to speak their truth.
Yeah.
And, I don't have to agree with everything they say, but I just think I find it interesting, especially someone like Chris Rock, who's been in this business for a very long time and observed a lot of things.
Yeah. No, I thought it was great. I love when he's talking about the slap. He's like, people ask me, did it hurt? He goes, it still hurts. So funny. Ruggs, what else did you watch?
Hulu just put on Triangle of Sadness, which I think
that's an Oscar-nominated movie.
Oscar-nominated movie.
Was it for what? For what?
Best Picture, I think.
It is a Best Picture nomination.
Yeah,
I could tell you that I watched it, and there was some fucked up shit going on in this movie.
What is it about?
Okay, let me get into it. All right, real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
It's about two influencers, like they're like, hot people on Instagram.
Okay.
That they're dating each other, and for convenience, I guess, or whatever. They're kind of using each other, but they're influencers, so they get tons of free shit, and they get to go on this luxury billionaires cruise. Like, it's like this giant yacht.
Okay.
And the crew is just there to suck their dicks and do whatever they want. And it's like a tiered story. It's like you got the rich people that are there to be catered to and like just filleted at every fucking turn. And then you got the people that are actually doing the real work, which are like the ladies that clean and all that other stuff. And they're like, I think they're in another area, like lower in the ship.
It's like that show Below Deck.
Yeah. And basically, you go on like you meet some of these billionaires and you see how fucking sad their lives are and how like, kind of like, what are they into? And then basically the ship, there's a bad storm and the ship gets tossed around. And there's this scene that's almost excruciating to watch of everybody on the ship, all these rich billionaires getting seasick and like having diarrhea and throwing up in the bathroom. And then the ship's getting tossed around so much and the shitter's getting so full that it starts to back up all over the ship.
Oh, God.
And just when you think it can't get any worse, fucking pirates come.
Pirates!
And they fucking, kill a bunch of people and
holy shit. That's what this movie's about.
Sink the ship. And then this movie goes in so many places.
Whoa.
It's just like, I don't even know what this movie was when I was watching it. Finally, they end up on an island, right? And the few survivors that make it, like, there's just a couple of them left. And they have to survive on this island until, like, someone comes and finds them. But it turns out that all these rich fucks don't know how to do shit to survive. And guess who does? The one cleaning lady that survives.
Oh, shit, it's like Castaway.
I think I'm not sure if she's Filipino, but the accent sounded like Filipino to me. And she basically starts running shit. She's like, I'm the fucking captain now.
I'm the captain now.
And if they want food, they have to do what she says. And
the tables are turned now.
So this movie it starts out as a date between these two influencers.
Yeah.
And that lasts for like a half hour. Then it's about this ship for like an hour. And then there's like another like 40 minutes of them on the island.
Oh my God. Wow. Was it good?
It doesn't end.
Oh, it just keeps going.
No, it ends.
There's no ending.
They give you that ending where they don't tell you what happens at the end.
Wow, they pull it
nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay for what it's worth.
Wow.
It was very fucking absurd, and it's got a lot of levels to it, a lot of conversations. I was interested in it. But I have to be honest with you, I did fast forward to like everybody shitting and throwing up because it was too much for me to handle.
Written and directed by the same guy, Ruben Östlund. Who is known for, I don't know these movies, Force Majeure, Involuntary, The Square.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, wow. Östlund might clean up here.
And I did watch a little bit of Tar, which is on Peacock.
Yes, the Kate Blanchett. How was that?
Listen, it's a long ass movie. I watched an hour of it. All I can tell you is that Kate Blanchett is fucking a beast. She's like a good actress, man. Like, wow.
Isn't it like one take the whole movie?
She has these. Tar is about like a composer, and she like is being interviewed throughout the movie, and she's making these lectures throughout the movie. She's like a teacher, and she has to do things. But the amount of stuff that she remembers, or like her lines that she has to remember to do these things,
one long take monologues and shit.
I feel like that she knows what she's talking about, and she's just completely like this arrogant person, and it's just like. I think she does a great job.
Oh, she might get the Oscar.
Look at this. We got the debut. We got the reemergence of Rugman Boylansky here.
Rugland.
Well, these things started to become. I watched Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, he's watched Banshees. He's watched all the Oscar movies.
Not all of them.
What happened?
Not all. I figured, hey, I might as well watch it before the Oscars, make it more interesting when I watch it.
Yeah, I want to watch those two. We're running out of time though.
Yeah, but. Yeah, they're a long ass movie. Both of them are long ass movies.
I want to watch The Woman King too. That's on Netflix now. I heard that's pretty good.
Right.
All right. Well, speaking of Anthony, you watch anything else?
Oh, just sports, UFC,
lots of sports,
all that stuff. But we don't.
Yeah. There was a big UFC fight, and you saw Jake Gyllenhaal over there.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. Oh, so that's the one thing that you guys would be interested in. So. Jake Gyllenhaal was there, and they were filming scenes for Roadhouse.
Oh, that's what UFC. That was. I saw.
So they had
those
him like
pictures.
weigh in. They had him like do a fake fight in front of the crowd.
Shit.
Yeah,
they filmed the movie at the UFC fight.
Part of the.
Wow.
I don't know where they're going with this Roadhouse remake, but there's a lot of UFC stuff in it.
Oh, really?
So he's a fighter, right? And Conor McGregor is probably a fighter in the movie.
No, Conor McGregor's his like assistant. Yeah, of course he's a fighter. What do you think?
He's okay, but like, are they going to show him? Is there a fight in the movie? Like, what is this movie? What the fuck is happening?
They filmed a fight with not with Gyllenhaal and Connor, but with Gyllenhaal and another person, and then they filmed him weighing in and all that stuff.
Was he jacked?
Interesting. Oh yeah, he's big.
He's big. Wow, really?
He looks amazing.
But yeah, it was like, whoa, this is the Roadhouse remake, and then my friends were like, what is going on? Like my friends were like, what are they making? I'm going, oh, you need to check out Roadhouse. Like, what's that? I'm like, go check that out.
They showed that part as part of the fight, like them filming the movie?
No, there's clips online.
Okay.
Of them filming that.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's crazy. What is this movie? Is a good question.
I don't know I don't know where they're going with the route of this movie, but yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what we're gonna get.
It's not gonna be good. Don't do it. It's being done. Okay, so anyways, this week, like we said, Last of Us season finale, episode 9, going up against the Oscars same night. More importantly, the next day, Monday, March 13th, is a better award show on YouTube called The Golden Peas. Our buddy Joe Morris will be doing it live on Facebook and YouTube.
He'll be peeing live.
He'll be peeing Golden Peas live. I'll have a link in the show notes. It starts 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. You may see somebody from the show presenting an award.
Oh my God.
You got to tune in to laugh at that person.
Okay.
But I'm sure it'll be available to watch later. But if you watch the Oscars, you want another award show, Monday, March 13th, Golden Peas. Check it out. Support our buddy.
Let me throw one more thing out there.
Yeah, what else you got?
This, I don't know if any of you guys are going to watch it. I'm considering it just because it looks so weird. But that movie 65 comes out this week.
Oh, that comes out this week? Yeah, that I kind of want to know what that is.
And Scream 6 if you're that kind of fan.
But, Scream 6 is going to be a big one.
Wow.
For the Scream fans. That's all this week.
65 is this weekend, right? Yeah.
Do I have the wherewithal to go to the theater to see another movie this week?
Well, very soon we might have back-to-back.
Hour and a half.
Oh, it's an hour and a half. We might have back-to-back new movie reviews coming up if we choose to do Shazam the following week. Is Shazam March 17th, and then John Wick Chapter 4 comes out on the 24th, and I heard that movie is really good. Anthony, would you watch? Have you seen what John Wicks have you seen?
We'll figure it out.
I really want to.
They're all on Peacock.
Yeah, we'll get it watched. We'll get it.
Yeah,
we'll get it.
Yeah. I think we should review that. It looks fucking dope. I can't wait for that one. Shazam. Yeah, whatever. We'll watch it.
Yeah, we have to.
We have to. But fucking, and then John Wick. So a lot of movies coming out in March. It's crazy.
Holy smokes.
But we're not reviewing 65, guys.
No. Yes.
No. All right.
Let's, yeah.
I reviewed only 69.
Only 69s I will review.
Yeah.
All right.
Good length. Good girth on that 69. What? Okay.
All right.
Anyways, that's it for this week, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. Come by.
Give him a follow.
Follow me.
Give him a follow. Send him a message.
Come on. Why does Imran have 3 times the amount of followers that I have?
Yeah, that's bullshit. He's way more entertaining.
Yeah.
You can find that in the links in the show description and on our website, the show notes, where there's links on how to support, how to share the show, things we talked about. Most importantly, share the show with your neighbor, with your friend, with the person you're about to box in the ring. Before you box, give him one of these.
Talking nerd. Tell your esthetician about us.
Yes, tell your beautician, tell your orthodontist, your periodontist, all the dentists. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time. See? I got it. That's
There you go. There you go.
The perfect guy to tell about the show is your urologist.
Tell your proctologist.
Yeah, as he's lifting your balls up.
And you, sir,
Be like,
are you waiting to receive my limp penis?
you say that, and then you tell him, Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd.